Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Lately it seems like everywhere I turn, people are talking about cryptocurrency.
It's definitely having a moment.
It really is. And our listeners are right on top of things because we've been getting tons of requests to do a deep dive into crypto.
Makes sense. It's a pretty hot topic.
It is, and it can be a little confusing to wrap your head around, so we're here to break it all down.
Exactly. We'll demystify the jargon and help you understand what it's all about.
Perfect. So let's start with the basics. What exactly is cryptocurrency? I mean, we hear terms like Bitcoin, blockchain, mining. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah, it can definitely feel like learning a whole new language, but at its core, think of cryptocurrency as digital cash.
Okay, digital cash. So instead of dollar bills in my wallet, it's what? Ones and zeros on a computer somewhere.
Exactly, but with a twist. Unlike traditional money, which is issued by governments, cryptocurrency operates on a decentralized network.
Decentralized, there's that word again.
Hmm?
What does that actually mean in this context?
It means no single entity, like a bank, controls your funds. It's all about distributing control across a network.
So no more relying on those big banks. I kind of like the sound of that. But how does this decentralized system actually work? Is it really secure without a central authority?
That's where the magic of blockchain comes in. Think of it as a digital ledger, but instead of being kept in one place, it's distributed across a network of computers.
Okay, I'm picturing a giant digital spreadsheet shared across the internet. Is that kind of it?
Sort of. Every transaction is recorded on this blockchain, and it's incredibly secure because it's constantly being verified by all these computers. It's like a public record everyone can see, so it's transparent, but no one can tamper with it.
So it's like a giant unbreakable digital vault.
Exactly. And that's what makes cryptocurrency so secure and trustworthy.
That's pretty impressive. Now, we can't talk about crypto without mentioning the OG, the one that started it all, Bitcoin. And of course, the mysterious creator, Satoshi Nakamoto.
Ah, yes, Satoshi. A true legend shrouded in mystery. No one knows their true identity.
It's like the digital age's biggest unsolved mystery.
For sure. But what they did was revolutionary. In 2009, they unleashed Bitcoin onto the world, proving this idea of a decentralized digital currency could actually work.
And look where we are now, thousands of cryptocurrencies later. It's mind-blowing how one person sparked this whole global phenomenon. Okay, we've got the basics down. Digital money, decentralization, this super secure blockchain vault. But how does a transaction actually happen? Let's say I want to send someone some crypto. What does that look like?
Well, it's definitely not as simple as sending an email, but it is faster and cheaper than traditional methods.
So no more waiting days for a wire transfer to go through.
Exactly. Transactions are verified by a network of computers called nodes through a process called mining.
Mining. Okay, now we're really getting into the jargon. What's actually happening there? Are we talking like pickaxes and digital gold mines?
Not quite, though the analogy kind of works. Mining involves computers solving complex mathematical problems to validate transactions.
So it's like a giant digital Sudoku puzzle.
Kind of. The first computer to solve the problem adds the next block of transactions to the blockchain, that unbreakable ledger we talked about, and gets rewarded with cryptocurrency.
Ah, so that's how new crypto is created. It's like a reward for keeping the system running. But where do you actually keep this digital cash?
You need a digital wallet. There are different types of hot wallets that are connected to the internet and cold wallets that are offline, like a physical device.
So hot wallets are like your everyday wallet, and cold wallets are more like your super secure safe deposit box.
Exactly.
Makes sense. You've got to keep your digital treasure safe. Okay, let's be honest. One of the big reasons people are interested in crypto is the potential to make some money. But before we dive into investments, let's explore the pros and cons. What are some of the upsides of this whole crypto revolution?
Well, decentralization is a huge plus. Your funds are truly yours. No bank or government can control them.
That's a big deal, especially in certain parts of the world with unstable economies or limited access to traditional banking.
Exactly. It's about financial freedom and empowerment.
So it's like taking control of your financial destiny, regardless of where you live or your background. That's powerful. What else makes crypto so appealing?
Transaction fees are generally much lower than banks, particularly for international transfers.
Ah, so it's like sending money across borders at lightning speed without those hefty fees. Who wouldn't want that?
Right. It's all about efficiency and accessibility.
Okay, we've got control, lower fees. What else? What makes crypto stand out from the traditional financial world?
Well, let's not forget about transparency and security, all thanks to that blockchain ledger. Every transaction is recorded and verifiable, making fraud nearly impossible.
So it's like having a built-in security system for your money. That's impressive. But no system is perfect.
Right.
Let's flip the coin. What are some of the downsides or concerns when it comes to cryptocurrency?
Volatility is a big one. Crypto prices can swing wildly, which makes it a risky investment for some people.
Yeah, those price swings can be a roller coaster.
They can. You could gain a lot quickly, but you could also lose a lot just as fast. It's not for the faint of heart.
Definitely not. What are some other concerns that people should be aware of?
Well, regulatory uncertainty is another factor. Governments around the world are still trying to figure out how to approach crypto.
It's like the Wild West out there.
It kind of is. The lack of clear guidelines can create challenges for businesses and investors.
Makes sense. It's hard to play by the rules when the rules are still being written. What else should people be cautious about when it comes to crypto?
Well, scams and hacking are always a risk in the digital world, and the crypto space is no exception. There are tons of stories about people falling victim to phishing attacks, fake exchanges, and other schemes.
It's like the Wild West out there, with opportunities and dangers lurking around every corner.
Exactly. Education and caution are key. Do your research, be skeptical, and protect yourself.
Okay, we've talked about scams, but we also have to consider the environmental impact, right? I've heard that mining some cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin, uses a ton of energy.
That's a valid concern, and it's something the crypto community is actively working to address. There are efforts to develop more sustainable mining practices and create more energy-efficient cryptocurrencies.
That's good to hear. It sounds like the crypto world is aware of its environmental footprint and taking steps to be more sustainable. Okay, so we've covered a lot. What crypto is, how it works, the pros, the cons, even some potential pitfalls. But now I'm curious about how this technology is being used in the real world.
It's easy to get caught up in the investment side of things.
Oh, for sure.
But it's important to remember that crypto is much more than just an investment. It has the potential to disrupt industries and change the way we do things. We're seeing real-world applications popping up all the time.
That's what I'm interested in. Give us some examples. How are people actually using crypto in their everyday lives?
Well, cross-border payments are a prime example. We talked about how crypto can make international money transfers faster, cheaper, and more efficient.
Right, I remember that. It's a game changer for people working abroad or sending money back home to their families. What other cool use cases are out there?
Another exciting area is smart contracts on the Ethereum blockchain. These are self-executing contracts written in code that automatically enforce the terms of an agreement.
Wait, so it's like a digital contract that can carry out its own terms?
Exactly. It removes the need for intermediaries and ensures everything is transparent and tamper-proof.
Wow, that sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. What kind of real-world impact could that have?
The possibilities are endless. Imagine a world where contracts fulfill themselves without the need for lawyers or middlemen. Think about supply chains where every step is tracked and verified automatically, or real estate transactions happening seamlessly without piles of paperwork.
Okay, that's officially blowing my mind. It sounds like smart contracts could streamline so many complex processes. What else is on the horizon for crypto?
One area that's gaining a lot of traction is decentralized finance, or DeFi.
DeFi. Okay, that's another one of those buzzwords we're hearing everywhere these days. What's that all about?
It's basically an ecosystem of financial applications built on blockchain, with the goal of providing traditional financial services like lending, borrowing, and trading, but without banks or intermediaries.
So it's like taking Wall Street and flipping it on its head.
Exactly. It's all about giving power back to the people.
Wow, that's revolutionary. But how does this actually benefit the average person? What can DeFi do for me?
Well, it's about democratizing finance. It makes these services accessible to anyone with an internet connection, regardless of their location or background. You could potentially access loans, earn interest on your savings, or trade assets without going through traditional financial institutions.
Okay, that's pretty amazing. So we've got faster payments, self-executing contracts, a decentralized financial system. Is there anything crypto can't do?
Well, it hasn't quite solved world hunger yet, but it is making waves in the art world and beyond through something called non-fungible tokens, or NFTs.
NFTs, oh yeah. Those were all over the news too. Everyone's talking about digital art selling for millions of dollars. But what exactly are they, and how are they connected to crypto?
Think of NFTs as unique digital assets. They represent ownership of anything: digital art, music, videos, collectibles, even a tweet.
So it's like having a digital certificate of authenticity, proving you own the original. But what makes them so valuable?
It's the scarcity and the proof of ownership that drives the value. Anyone can copy a digital file, but only one person can own the NFT that represents the original.
That's a fascinating concept. So it's like owning the Mona Lisa, even though anyone can buy a print of it. But what's in it for creators and artists? How are NFTs impacting them?
It's a game changer for them. They now have a new way to monetize their digital creations and connect directly with their audience.
That's incredible. It seems like crypto is touching so many different aspects of our lives: finance, art, gaming, even the way we think about ownership in the digital age. It's mind-blowing.
It really is. And one thing I find particularly inspiring is how crypto is empowering people in countries with unstable currencies. It gives them a way to preserve their wealth and participate in the global economy.
That's a powerful use case. It shows how crypto can be a tool for financial inclusion and empowerment, especially for those who have been traditionally excluded from the system.
Absolutely. It's about leveling the playing field and creating new opportunities. It's about redefining what's possible.
Okay, so we've established that crypto is much more than just an investment or a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a technology with the potential to disrupt industries, empower individuals, and change the way we think about money and value. But now the question on everyone's mind: should you invest in cryptocurrency? Is it right for you?
That's the million-dollar question. And there's no easy answer. It depends on a lot of factors. There's no one-size-fits-all approach.
Okay, no simple yes or no answers. But what are some key things people should consider before jumping into the crypto market? What advice would you give to someone who's intrigued but doesn't know where to start?
First and foremost, education is crucial. Don't just blindly follow the hype or invest based on what you see on social media. Take the time to understand the technology, the market, the risks involved.
So it's like anything else, knowledge is power. Do your homework before making any decisions. What else is important for navigating the crypto world?
Start small. Don't risk more than you can afford to lose. The crypto market is still very volatile, and it's best to dip your toes in cautiously.
So don't go all in right away.
Yeah.
Treat it like an experiment, a learning experience.
Exactly. And remember, diversification is key. Just like you wouldn't put all your money into a single stock, you shouldn't put all your crypto into one basket.
Spread the risk, just like in any investment. That's great advice. What else is crucial for navigating this exciting but potentially risky world?
Stay updated. The crypto landscape is constantly evolving, with new projects and technologies emerging all the time. Continuous learning is essential.
It sounds like the crypto world is a bit like the Wild West. Exciting, full of opportunity, but also a bit risky and unpredictable.
That's a great analogy. And just like in the Wild West, it's crucial to be prepared, informed, and cautious.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, but it feels like we're just getting started.
Oh, we've only just scratched the surface.
There's so much more to explore, but I think this is a great place to pause for now. Before we move on to part 2 of our crypto deep dive, I want to leave you with a thought-provoking question. We've talked about the practical applications, the investment potential, the risks. But it seems like crypto is doing something bigger. It's challenging how we think about money and value.
It's a philosophical shift as much as a technological one.
Exactly. So here's the question I want you to ponder. Even if you never invest a single dollar in cryptocurrency, how do you think these trends, decentralization, digital ownership, new forms of value, how do you think they might impact your life in the coming years?
That's a powerful question. It's a reminder that even if you're not directly involved in the crypto world, it's a force that's shaping the future.
Absolutely. It's like a ripple effect. Even if you're not swimming in the crypto ocean, you're bound to feel the waves. We'll delve deeper into what that future might hold in part 2 after a short break.
I can't wait. There's so much more to uncover.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is fascinating to see these abstract concepts actually playing out in the real world.
Right, like we're living in a sci-fi novel.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that people in countries with unstable currencies are using crypto to protect their wealth.
Exactly. It can be a safe haven in times of economic uncertainty.
Which brings us to regulation. It seems like governments around the world are still figuring out how to deal with this whole crypto thing. What's the latest on that front?
Well, it's a bit of a mixed bag, to be honest. You've got some countries that are embracing crypto, seeing it as the future of finance.
And others that are a bit more hesitant?
Yeah, they're concerned about things like money laundering, tax evasion, all the potential risks.
Right, it makes sense that they'd want to proceed with caution. But it seems like crypto is evolving so rapidly. Can regulations even keep up?
That's the million-dollar question. It's a constant game of catch-up. By the time they create rules for one thing, 10 new things have popped up.
It's like trying to hit a moving target.
Exactly. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out in the long run.
Well, one thing's for sure. It's going to be a wild ride. Okay, let's shift gears for a moment and talk about something a bit more fun. The cultural impact of crypto.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just about technology and finance. It's seeped into popular culture as well.
Oh, totally. I'm seeing crypto memes everywhere these days.
It's become this symbol of like disruption and rebellion against the traditional financial system.
It's kind of cool, actually. It reminds me of the early days of the internet, that same kind of buzz and excitement.
You know, right? It feels like we're on the cusp of something big. But like with any powerful technology, we need to be mindful of the ethical implications as well.
That's a really important point. What are some of the ethical considerations that we should be thinking about as crypto becomes more mainstream?
Well, one concern is that it could exacerbate existing inequalities. If only the wealthy have access to crypto and its benefits, it could widen the gap between the haves and the have-nots.
Right, that's a valid concern. It's like with any new technology, we need to ensure it's accessible to everyone, not just a select few. What about the environmental impact? We talked earlier about the energy consumption of mining.
Yeah, that's a big one. The crypto community is aware of this issue and working on solutions like more sustainable mining practices and energy-efficient algorithms.
That's good to hear. It sounds like there's a push for a more sustainable crypto future.
There is. And we also need to think about privacy. Blockchain is a public ledger, but there are concerns about how personal data associated with crypto transactions could be used.
Right. It's all about finding that balance between transparency and protecting individual privacy. Are there any other ethical considerations you think are particularly important?
Well, there's the question of governance. Who gets to make the rules in a decentralized system? How are disputes resolved? These are complex questions that the crypto community is still grappling with.
It's like we're building the plane while we're flying it. But that's also part of what makes it so exciting.
Absolutely. It's a grand experiment, and we're all part of it.
Well, this has been an incredible conversation so far. We've covered so much ground, but it feels like we're just scratching the surface.
Oh, we've only just begun. There's so much more to explore.
There really is. But before we move on to the final part of our crypto deep dive, let's circle back to the question of whether you should invest in cryptocurrency.
Ah, yes. The million-dollar question.
We've talked about the potential benefits, the risks, the importance of education, and diversification. But ultimately, it's a personal decision.
It really is. What's right for one person might not be right for another. It all depends on your individual circumstances, your risk tolerance, and your financial goals.
So how can our listeners figure out if crypto is right for them? What are some key things to consider?
Well, first and foremost, do your research. Don't just jump in blindly based on what you hear from others. Learn about different cryptocurrencies, how they work, the potential risks and rewards.
Knowledge is power. The more you understand, the better decisions you can make.
Exactly. And it's important to assess your risk tolerance. How comfortable are you with volatility? Can you stomach the ups and downs of the market?
Crypto isn't for the faint of heart, that's for sure. What else should people keep in mind?
Think about your financial goals. Are you looking for short-term gains or long-term growth? Crypto can be a part of your overall investment strategy, but it's important to align your investments with your goals.
It's like having a roadmap for your money, knowing where you want to go before you set out on the journey.
What other advice would you give to someone who's on the fence about crypto?
Start small. Don't put in more than you can afford to lose. Think of it as an experiment, a way to learn and dip your toes into the water. Test the waters before diving in head first. That's great advice. And what about diversification? We talked about that earlier in the context of risk management. Is that still important when it comes to crypto?
Absolutely. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Spread your investments across different cryptocurrencies to mitigate risk.
So don't just bet on one crypto horse. Spread your bets across the whole stable.
Exactly. It's all about managing risk and increasing your chances of success.
Now let's talk about the emotional side of investing. It seems like emotions can run high in the crypto world, especially with all the hype and volatility.
Oh, for sure. It's easy to get caught up in the FOMO, the fear of missing out. You see people making huge profits, and you want a piece of the action.
But it's important to remember that not every investment is a winner, and there will always be new opportunities.
Exactly. Don't let your emotions drive your decisions. Stay calm, do your research, and stick to your plan.
So it's like having a Zen approach to crypto. Stay grounded and don't get swept away by the hype. What other pitfalls should people be aware of?
Well, security is paramount. Cryptocurrency is a digital asset, and it's vulnerable to theft and hacking just like anything else online.
So protect your digital treasure chest. Don't leave it lying around unlocked.
Exactly. Choose reputable exchanges, use strong passwords, and be aware of phishing scams.
Okay, I think we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about the pros, the cons, the risks, the opportunities, the ethical considerations. It's a lot to digest.
It really is, but it's such a fascinating and rapidly evolving space. It's exciting to be a part of it.
It is. But before we move on to the final part of our crypto deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with one last thought to ponder. We've talked about crypto as this revolutionary force, this disruptor. But is it really that different from traditional finance? Are we just reinventing the wheel? Or is there something truly new and innovative happening here?
That's a great question, and I think the answer is both. Cryptocurrency builds on existing financial concepts, but it also introduces new possibilities and challenges that could fundamentally change how we think about money and value.
It's like a remix, right? Taking familiar elements and creating something entirely new and unexpected.
That's a great analogy. And just like any remix, the success of cryptocurrency will depend on how well it adapts and evolves to meet the needs of its users and the challenges of the world around it.
Well said. We'll delve deeper into what that future might hold in part 3 of our deep dive after a short break. Welcome back to the deep dive, everyone. We've been on quite a journey exploring this fascinating world of cryptocurrency.
It's been a whirlwind.
It really has. From the tech stuff to the cultural impact, the regulations, the ethical dilemmas. It feels like we've only just scratched the surface.
Oh, absolutely. The deeper you go, the more you realize how much there is to learn.
So true. Before we wrap things up, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the future of crypto. What trends are you watching? Where do you see all this heading in the next few years?
Well, it's always tricky to make predictions in a space that's evolving so rapidly.
It's like trying to predict the weather. It changes so quickly.
Right. But I can tell you the one thing that's for certain is that things will continue to change at a rapid pace. New tech, new applications, and new use cases are popping up constantly.
Buckle up, everyone. It's going to be a wild ride. But can you give us any hints about what might be around the corner? What's got you excited?
Okay, one area I'm really interested in is the intersection of cryptocurrency and artificial intelligence. We're already seeing the early stages of this with things like AI-powered trading platforms.
AI and crypto. That sounds like a powerful combo. How do you see these two technologies shaping each other?
Well, I think AI has the potential to revolutionize a lot of things in the crypto world. Like trading, for example. Imagine AI algorithms analyzing massive amounts of data, spotting patterns and trends that humans would never be able to see.
It's like having a superpowered financial advisor helping you make smarter investment decisions.
Exactly. And it's not just about trading. AI could also play a big role in security and risk management, making the whole system more robust and reliable.
So AI could help us tackle some of those challenges we discussed earlier, like scams and hacking.
Potentially. It's definitely a space to watch. Another development I'm following closely is the rise of central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs.
CBDCs, okay. Another one of those acronyms we need to add to our crypto vocabulary. What are those all about?
Essentially, they're digital currencies issued by central banks, similar to cryptocurrencies, but backed by the government.
So it's like a hybrid between traditional money and crypto.
Yeah, you could say that.
What does it mean for the financial landscape if governments are getting involved in digital currency?
Well, it could be a pretty big shift. CBDCs could potentially streamline transactions, make international payments easier, reduce our reliance on commercial banks.
And give governments more control over monetary policy?
Exactly. It's a fascinating development with lots of potential implications.
Wow. It seems like there are so many exciting possibilities on the horizon for crypto. What else should we be paying attention to?
The metaverse. It's generating a lot of buzz, and it's closely linked to the crypto world.
The metaverse? Right. So we're talking virtual world, avatars, all that jazz.
Exactly. As we spend more time in these virtual spaces, we'll need new ways to interact, to transact, to own things.
And cryptocurrencies and NFTs could play a big role in that.
Absolutely. They could become the backbone of the metaverse economy. It's like a whole new frontier for innovation and creativity.
Mind blown. It's incredible to think about all the possibilities.
We're just at the beginning of this journey, and it's hard to imagine where it will lead, but it's definitely going to be an exciting ride.
I can't wait to see what the future holds. Well, I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive into the world of cryptocurrency. A huge thank you to our expert for being our guide on this incredible journey.
It's been my pleasure. I always love talking about crypto.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us. We hope you've learned something new and maybe even gotten a little bit excited about the potential of this revolutionary technology. Remember, the resources we've mentioned throughout this deep dive are just a starting point. Keep exploring, stay curious, and who knows, maybe one of you listening will be the next big innovator in the crypto world. Until next time, happy diving.